What's going on, boys and girls? This is Clay Holbright over at Best Body Shop. Woo-wee! It's Wednesday, hump day! Confused am I? Confused is the word of the day because Progressive Insurance's behavior. My name is Clay Holbright. I'm the proud owner of a body shop right here in Wichita, Kansas, and we are proud to be crazy about three things. We're crazy about you, your car, and our team. And part of being crazy about you and your car lends us the need or necessity to be 100% transparent with the entire collision repair business, or the entire collision repair industry, and what really happens behind closed doors, because it is my belief that the majority of people just have no idea what happens behind closed doors. And man, it's really scary stuff. Today, I'm confused by Progressive behavior. Now, I made a video a little while ago talking about Travelers. I made another video about Progressive, and I just don't get it, because Progressive Insurance in particular used to be one of my favorite insurance companies. I would say probably 8, 9, maybe 10 months ago. They seem to be consumer centric. Now, it's weird, because whenever I say those kind of things, then I get hit by a million body shop owners on my messenger about, how they have different experiences than we do. And by the way, if you do ever want to hit me up, you have any questions, comment below, or you can personally message me. I love to discuss any and all aspects of the repair process or the collision industry with either body shop owners or consumers that are having their vehicle repaired right now. So let me just explain the last three claims that have happened at Best Body Shop, or at least I believe the last three claims. We actually produce we do a decent amount of work, and I'm trying to keep my head wrapped around this whole thing. But three Progressive claims ago, we have a car come in. The insurance, Progressive, makes all kinds of a stink when the car gets done and says that they're not going to pay the whole bill. And then they tell the customer, the customer shows up to pay the bill, or customer comes up to pick up the car. We let them know that Progressive has told us that they're not going to pay the bill, that there's things that they are in contention with. And the customer lets us know, oh, no. They wrote you a check, and then they wrote me personally a check at the same time, by the way, sent the check at the same time. Which was weird. I made a video about, I don't understand why you'd write two checks, and it just is weird behavior. And obviously I'm not naive and stupid, so I kind of understand a little bit. I've read about this stuff, I've studied this stuff, and I get that sometimes the left hand not knowing what the right hand is doing is beneficial for a corporation that might not be doing things ethically and morally. I'm not saying that they are, not saying that they're not, but I'm just saying that some of these behaviors would make sense if that were the case. Then the second claim that Progressive handled, same thing, through this huge fit, had a problem, not going to pay the bill, or maybe it was they just disappeared and weren't answering messages. Anyway, long story short, they paid the bill. They said, hey, because they sent over an email and said, because we made a mistake in our communication, or lack thereof, it was something along the lines of, we didn't communicate very well, so we're going to go ahead and pay the whole bill, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, I grew up with some pretty old school, rules, and one of them is two wrongs don't make a right. So if Progressive was right about our billing, and that our billing was incorrect and overcharging, and by the way, this is what our customers are telling us, that Progressive is telling them, that we're overcharging and we're charging for things that don't need to be repaired, and blah 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 blah, which is news to me, because the only thing that I see is what the manufacturers dictate and what is reasonable in the repair of the vehicle. But they went ahead and paid the whole bill because of their lack of communication. I don't get it. Well, then we have a truck that comes in. We do the repair, and Progressive Insurance fights it, there's this back and forth, and in the end sticks the customer with, I think it was like an $900 bill. Now this is the part that was really weird, okay? That customer has brought us his vehicle 3 times now with Progressive insurance, and the other 2 times they paid in full. Let me say that again. One customer brought us vehicle 3 times. He has 2 different vehicles, brought us 3 times, have visited Best Body Shop within the last couple years, and one was a deer hit, another one was like a scrape bumper, and anyway, and they paid, Progressive paid in full all times except for this last time. Now, they did go ahead and make a list of items that they were in contentions with, and they told the customer that we were overcharging our hourly rate at $58 an hour body rate, $58 an hour refinish rate, and 125 mechanic. Now, here's another weird thing. Progressive has recently been paying, I believe, the majority of the claims in Wichita right around $60 an hour. Now, I don't know whether they're contentious about the 58 or about the 60, but either way, they're saying that our labor rate is too high, which is absolutely absurd, because if you do any kind of a study of any body shops, we're actually lower. We have not adjusted for inflation yet. It's been, we haven't changed our rates for quite a while. We haven't changed them since inflation and since things have been kind of going bonkers. But either way, I'm thoroughly confused about that one. Then they also said that I can't make this stuff up, guys. We charge to bubble wrap parts, and they said that's ridiculous and we're not paying for that. Literally, when a car comes in and you have a 19, like we had a Mercedes recently, the headlight was a $1,900 headlight. Yeah, when we disassemble it and we store that part, we're gonna bubble wrap it. And I know that there are some sad truths in this world, one of which is that things aren't free. And I know that it might be really, really challenging for Progressive to understand that, being that most body shops just lay over and let them push them around and work for free. But in my world, which is reality, when I buy that bubble wrap, the person that I buy it from charges me. Therefore, I have to charge people for that bubble wrap. And by the way, we're talking about less than $20 on the entire claim, or like I think it's $5 or $7 plus like 0.1 hour or 0.2, like 10 minutes. It's minimal at best. I mean, it's ridiculous. Now, guess what, guys? That same charge was on the other 2 claims that this particular customer came in, and his question, he emailed, I love his question, he emailed the Progressive and said, why did you not have a problem with it last year, but you have a problem with it this year? I don't get it. Now, I do have something for you, for you Progressive in particular. I will absolutely stop charging for bubble wrap as long as Progressive sends me a letter that they will be liable for any parts that we carry that in our custom or in our care and custody. If we scratch or break or damage while in our care and custody, that they will be liable with us. I won't, Mr. and Mrs. Progressive, you don't even have to pay for the whole thing. We'll split the bill. How about that? I will make a deal with you right now. And you guys, if anybody knows anything about Best Body Shop, we don't make deals with insurance companies. We're not in partnership. We're an independent shop that works directly for you and you alone. But I'll make one deal right now. If Progressive wants to send me a letter and that states that they will be liable just as much as I am on parts that we care, then they can tell us that we care, have in our custody while we take care of the car. Then I will not charge for the bubble wrap on Progressive claims. But here's the reality, guys. When that $1,900 headlight is put on a red rack and we're moving that red rack from stall to stall, or we're moving it from waiting for authorization to batter up or whatever, and that gets a scratch on the lens, guess what? Customer doesn't want to pay for it. I don't blame them. Insurance company doesn't want to pay for it. I don't blame them. So what's the next reasonable thing to do? Well, put bubble wrap on it and store it safely. It's ridiculous. So guys, I don't know. I would, I asked for something very specifically on my last video from Progressive, and I never received it, and that is a formal apology. Progressive, I think that the behavior that you're showing to our customer is deceptive and unfair. I think that it is very, very, very concerning that you can. It's very confusing and concerning, the behaviors that I'm seeing out of Progressive Insurance, and how sometimes they'll pay the whole bill, and the way they pay it is they'll send a personal check to the owner of the car without telling the body shop, or the other way that they'll pay the bill is they'll say that it's because they made a mistake in their administrative efforts, or they'll just not pay a bill at all, even though they paid it the last 2 times for the same customer. Just makes no sense whatsoever. What it makes me think, and this is my thought process here, what it makes me think is that their main concern is about their pocketbook, not the consumer. And I hope I'm wrong in this. Maybe I've just got a bad batch of adjusters and agents here in Wichita that are acting outside of Progressive's guidelines. I don't know. Maybe there's some communication that can happen from Progressive corporate, because I will tell you this. Hey guys, I'm doing say hi live on Facebook. Sorry, they're having a party in here. I will tell you this, that I don't remember seeing the last Progressive Insurance Company's TV commercial that said that we will take care of you and pay the full bill as long as we are slow on our communication, or as long as, or we'll pay you separately from the body. I mean, it just, all this behavior, all these weird little tactics and things don't make sense. Now, I will tell you this. I have dealt with insurance companies like Amica and Acuity and Erie and Pure and Chubb, Farm Bureau. We don't see any of these problems with those kind of insurance. Even American Family, after a few lawsuits that we were involved with, even American Family typically just calls us and have a few questions, but they write a check. I don't understand when a body shop on behalf of a consumer can put together a damage assessment that has all the repair procedures from the manufacturer, photos of the entire damage, of all the damages and all the parts that are needed, pre-measurements. And I mean, I think, hey, Tyler, what was it, like 215 attachments were on that on Scottsdale? Yep. How much easier could you ascertain the cost of repair? Now, ultimately, with an insurance company, their job is just to make sure that the damages are insured or under the policy provisions, and that should be pretty easy with the insane amount of documentation that we have. It's not like we're disorganized around here. And yet, there seems to be this hopscotch of how Progressive Insurance wants to handle these claims, and sometimes they want to pay them, and sometimes they don't, and sometimes it's all over the place. So I would like either one of two things. I would like an explanation so I can best help my clients through the process, because if Progressive Insurance wants to say, oh no, this is just who we are, we're a different insurance company and this is how we operate, then I would like to explain that to the customer so that they aren't confused by your guys' commercial and website and all your advertising, because your advertising doesn't show any of this. I think that it would only be fair that if a consumer, a general consumer in Wichita, Kansas, was going to enter into a good faith agreement with Progressive, then I think that they should know what they're buying before they buy it. And then the second thing is, if I'm not going to get an explanation, then I'd like a formal apology, because quite frankly, I think it's sad and pathetic that Progressive Insurance continually tells my customers that we're overcharging, that we're doing wrong things, but then they all of a sudden pay. Now, how they pay, they figure out how to pay, and it's all these different tactics and weird things. But just either say you're sorry and move on and go away, or explain to me and my clients why you guys are doing what you're doing, because it doesn't make any sense. It's not commonsensical. It makes no sense to your marketing, makes no sense to what you say on TV. And I think that we as consumers and as service providers deserve that in the very least. So please hit me up. I'd love to hear it. 316-516-3827, 316-516-3827. That's our shop line. If anybody has experienced this in the collision repair business, or if you've experienced this as a consumer, man, hit me up, because I'd like to get to the bottom of this, to be honest. I just want consumers to be treated fairly, and for some of this mystery and confusion to be panned out. Guys, have an awesome Wednesday. Enjoy your hump day. Bye.